I'm an American living in Asia, and I think my parents and grandma just disappeared my sister for being a girl. Please help. Posted by you/throwaway got him awful. Throwing this away because this is seriously terrifying. I browse Reddit a lot and I really don't know where else to go, but I hope I can get some help here. I, 14M, am American but live in Asia, being vague because I don't want this traced back to me if the situation is as bad as it seems. I don't know if I should give some sort of background, but up until about 7 months ago, I lived with my mom, 39F, my dad, 41M, and my little sister, 9F. I say lived because my sister is no longer here, she's in boarding school. I want to preface this by saying we are not bad kids. We're half white, half Asian, and when my grandpa, on my dad's side, got sick 4 years ago, we moved here so my dad could take care of him. My sister and I worked hard to learn the language. Despite her age, she actually picked it up better than me, and I was so impressed with her. The issue began with my grandma. She would really look down on my sister, and I love my sister, so I didn't like it one bit. My mom said it's cultural and that I shouldn't make a fuss, but it was hard when grandma really started making it obvious. She bought me clothes, games, etc., but my sister got no attention. I should mention that 4 years ago, we lived with my grandpa and grandma. During that time, while I was being spoiled, my sister got reprimanded for everything she did. I swear, it was super unfair, you wouldn't believe it. Just under a year ago, my grandpa passed, and my parents decided we'd stay here since I already speak and read pretty fluently. Grandma told everyone how rude and unladylike my sister is, and my parents went along with it, even though I completely think that's wrong. 7 months ago, my sister and grandma went out, and my parents said she'd be at boarding school for the summer, just the summer. After 3 months, I got anxious and asked when she'd be back, and my mom ended up crying at the question. My dad talked to me and said she loved boarding school so much that she didn't want to come back yet. Like, WTF? Is that how boarding school works? I don't think so. Maybe I've been watching too much TV or reading too much Reddit, but we're in another country, and I swear what they're doing is emotional abuse. Still, it gets worse. After 5 months, I still hadn't gotten any contact, no messages, no letters, nothing. That's when my dad started turning her room into his office space. We actually got into a big fight over it, and I ended up with more chores, but he never answered why he was doing it if she'd be back soon. Anyway, it's now been 7 months since the car trip that took my sister away, and the final nail in the coffin hit. I was looking through the attic for my mom and found a box with some of my sister's old stuff, including her phone. Why wouldn't she have her phone? I really just want to know if there's anything I can do. No one will tell me which boarding school she's at, and I'm told not to worry about it because I'm a child. I know I'm too young to do much, but if there's anything I can do, please help. When I think about it, I can't stop remembering the way my mom cried that day, it makes me shiver. I've been imagining the worst, and I'd hate for it to end up being something like what's been going through my mind. Update 8 days later. Hi Reddit, it's been a crazy few weeks, but I absolutely needed to update as soon as possible. Sorry my post got locked, and I appreciate everyone who spoke to me via DMs. Apologies to those I couldn't get to, it was a lot. I should get on with the most important part of the update, what I finally ended up doing. Thanks to the amazing community that is Reddit, I was able to get in touch with a few different sources, the least favorite of which was a phone call to those who help find trafficked children. I knew my family would be investigated, and I actually went to meet up with another family during that time. Basically, a Redditor close to my age, who I'll keep private, met with me, and she had already shown my story to her family. They ended up letting me stay with them for a bit and made the proper calls to ensure it wasn't illegal. I actually specified that I wasn't running away from home and that I'd return after the investigation. It didn't sit well with the authorities, and I was actually forced to go back home, but things only got stranger from there. I returned to a completely empty house, even grandma was gone, so I was allowed to stay with the other family for the time being. They were extremely kind. For a week, I didn't get any news, and, bless her mother's heart, I was told I had a home there no matter the outcome. Then, a few days after the week had passed, I got a call, and it turns out they found my sister. My family had been taken in for questioning and were held for quite a while. I'm not sure why they didn't tell me this immediately, though. I don't actually know the full story, but my sister was living nearly 700 kilometers away, yeah, almost a whole day's drive. It wasn't summer school, boarding school, or anything like that, my dad sold her to get married. My mom was off the hook because, 1, I still needed a parent, and 2, she wasn't in on it until it was already quite far along. My dad and grandma have been arrested, though, and I'm now back living with my mom and sister. I'm still in contact with the Redditor who let me stay with her, and I'll be forever grateful. I have no idea what would have happened if I had been around when the authorities came knocking. She's my angel. On a more depressing note, my sister doesn't speak much, but she seemed to cheer up after I let her read my post. She said she felt abandoned and alone, among other things, but seeing how I, and plenty of strangers, gave their hearts for her made her very happy. So thank you all. Sorry for being so vague here, but I'm trying to protect identities. This isn't over by a long shot, there are still things that are going to happen, but I have my sister, and that's all thanks to Reddit. Thank you. Second update 1 month later. So hey Reddit, I made a post a little while ago about my sister, and thanks to the power of Reddit, I got her back. I left the account with no real intention of returning, but about a week ago, my sister was feeling down and wanted to read some comments. Holy crap. There's so much going on, the post blew up, and we got added to an update Reddit, and it's practically top of the page. I'm actually very embarrassed but proud, as many Redditors said I should be. About DMs, I am so sorry, but there are hundreds, and starting more than 3 or 4 conversations is already a bit overwhelming with everything else going on. That being said, I'm sure you'd all rather hear about my sister. So first off, there was another investigation, a much bigger one since everyone in our home are American citizens. I thought I didn't have much family on my mom's side because that's what my dad told us all our lives. Turns out I have an uncle, and we've been with him for 2 weeks now. My mother, on the other hand, is also awaiting trial. I won't lie, some of the Redditors are a little cruel but understandably so. My mother was complicit, even if she could do little to stop it, but she's still my mom, and my dad is still my dad. It hurts that I just lost them in the span of a month. What they did to my sister is unforgivable, and I will likely cut all contact, but losing the people that doted on me since day one is a lot. As suggested, we're starting therapy, and we've already had our first meeting, but it was mostly introductions and getting settled, nothing of note was talked about. My sister gives her heart to all you guys, and things seem to be a little calmer now. More personally, I'm still friends with the lovely girl still in Taiwan, and we're in close contact. She will always be my hero. She'll very likely read this update, so I won't embarrass her, but she's got sister status now, and she's well aware of what I'd do for my sister. Thanks again, Reddit. Love you all. Peace.